Yeah. What it do, y'all? It's your boy Shade. Greetings to everybody and grand risings. Yeah, I know my hair looking a little rough right now, but I ain't tripping about that. We in quarantine time, ain't going nowhere special. But I do got something special for you guys. So, remember when I was telling you guys about the Geiger counter or the EMF counter? Okay, so I finally ordered one. It came in the mail yesterday. I was definitely happy. For those who don't know what a EMF or a Geiger counter is, a Geiger counter is basically an electromagnetic frequency measurer. So it basically measures the amount of electromagnetic frequency given off an object such as a router, your TV, phone towers, your cell phone, and so much more objects. But long story short, I ordered mine. I got it. I'm happy with the product. The second part was that I ordered some diodes before I ordered my EMF counter. And what a diode is, which I bought from a woman named Kim Gems, who I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to go visit her page in case you want to invest in a diode. A diode is basically made up of crystals, or what we call chakra stones, such as organite, lepidolite, flint, and many more different crystals. Now, every crystal does not have this property. Okay, so the property that these crystals hold, or the pieces of these crystals put together hold, they block or they absorb the radiation or the EMF radiation and lessens the frequency in its immediate environment from an object. Which basically means if I place the diode on the back of a router or a cell phone or a stove, the radio frequency that's given off of it, or the electromagnetic frequency that's given off of it, will be reduced by some. Now, the diodes that I bought, they're pretty small, okay? So I'm going to give you guys basically an honest review. Now, what I will say is that the diodes do work. The only thing is you will probably need more than, let's say, 3 of them to put on the back of a router, and probably even more for a stove or refrigerator, maybe only 1 for your phone, depending on the amount of frequency is usually given off. So basically, I'm going to give you guys a review of the 2 products that I ordered, and I'm going to test them in front of you guys so you guys can also see what they are capable of doing. All right. So first things first. This right here is what you call a Geiger counter or EMF detector. Now, what this thing does is it has the ability to measure the EMF frequency waves given off an object. And if I turn it on, you gotta hold it. As you see, right now, because I'm close to my stove, it's actually already reading up and down right now, because I'm in the near field of an electromagnetic frequency. So if I take this away, it'll go back to 0. Up, 1. See? So it'll go back to 0. Now, I'm going to show you guys our router. Okay, this is what our router looks like from Xfinity. Now, I already placed a diode on the back of this. As you see, this is the gold diode. I'm not totally sure which stones she used in this one. It may be a mixture of different stones, which I would think that they probably would do. But I'll figure that out later. Or you guys can ask her yourself in the link description after this video. So now, as I showed you guys my router, and I showed you the counter. Now, let's see what happens when I place the counter close to the thing. Now, what will happen with this Geiger counter, I have it set with an alarm so it will sound off when it reaches a dangerous magnetic field. So, as you see, I'm just cutting the light on just so you guys can see how it turns red once it gets closer. See? Now, what this also has the ability to do is if I hold this button here, click it once, it will hold the highest. No, it's not going to hold the highest. It's going to hold where I initially stopped it at from measuring. But if I click it one more time, it go to max, right? It will show me the max amount of electromagnetic frequency is giving off. So this is giving off a total of 3 to 337. And the closer I get to it, it goes higher and higher. All right. Now, unfortunately, I was unable to measure my router before I put the the diode on the back of the router. So I was unable to see how far the frequency was giving off of it. So since I already stuck it on the back of it, I didn't want to take it all because I'm not sure how well the sticking is going to be if I re-put it back on there. So I just kept it on there and then I measured it. And so the highest amount of frequency is giving off is 1636. That's the max. So now, all right, so we're going to take off. We're going to clear this. All right. Now, again, this is another image of how the diode looks. See if we can get it cleared. So, as you see, it's the back of it. This is where the little sticker piece goes. Alright, so what I'm going to do right now is basically do this. Alright, since I already put the diode on the back of the router, what I'm going to do is hold this diode behind this Geiger counter to see how much close can I get to it before the frequency starts to measure. Go to it. So within about, let's see, this range of to my couch toward the router is saying 7. It's actually going up, so 80, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the diode and I'm going to redo this, and then we're going to see how the numbers start to actually get affected. Okay, so now as you see, I have the diode right here behind the sensor, right? And let's see what it starts to do. Now, see, as you see, it has reduced. All right, now you see. So as you see, the diode does work, but you would need multiple of them in order for them to basically diminish the amount of EMF frequency given off the object. So, as you go around here, which I'm going to show you guys what it does when I go, as soon as I go into the area where the stove is. Now, I'm right here, a couple feet, about 4 feet away from it, 3 feet. Boom. As you see, going toward the stove. It's higher. Look. Who would have known that it was giving off this much electromagnetic frequency? I didn't even expect that. Right? And as you see, not really that far out from it. Like literally as soon as I start to go over to the stove to basically cook something, the EMF field is raising. Now, above, we have this. Microwave. Now watch this. Boom. About 74. Now, watch this, guys. Now, as you see, it goes away when I step about by maybe a foot away. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my microwave on for about 30 seconds or so and watch how the radiation frequency dramatically changes. Right? So we about to hit 30 seconds. Boom. Look at this. Right? Now, last night, which was crazy, I was all the way back to my door, and this thing was going off. So maybe right now it's not giving off that much. Maybe because the stove maybe not be on at the time. But, yeah. All right. So basically, when this thing turns red, that means that it has reached dangerous levels pretty much for humans. All right. So now we're going over to the refrigerator. As you see, pretty quiet, right? I'm going to the refrigerator. Don't judge don't judge the food. All right. So nothing happening here. And this is the other part, right? So now we're going into the freezer. It's not doing anything right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until my refrigerator cut back on, right? And we're going to measure the EMF given off of this. What I noticed was that it was giving off dangerous levels inside the freezer while it was on. Now, that's kind of scary because, you know, that seems like it's radiating our food. But that's a question that I'll have to, you know, research into. And we're going to go to this next spot right now. The next spot that I'm going to show you guys, this is basically an area that's right beneath the stove. So, and then I'm going to show you the area right beneath the refrigerator, which are both areas giving off high amounts of electromagnetic frequency. All right, excuse some of the junk right here. So in front of this door, so I guess this is where the furnace is, and the refrigerator is actually sitting right above it. As you see, the closer I get to the door, in this little area right here, it starts to raise up. See? So this will be the area right directly above the refrigerator. Now, as we go over here, right? Now I'm in my bathroom. Right? So, in this little area right here, I noticed that there were some disruptions. So now, all right, as you see, the lower I roll, no effect. The higher I start to go up, so this means that the radiation is actually coming downward. It's not coming from out the wall. So it's actually coming from upwards. See? This is the point, be the main point. Now, it also could be electrical circuits in the wall. So this is actually another thing, good tool to have in case you're trying to figure out, where electrical cords are inside of your house and where they're running. So, all right. So basically, as you see, the diodes do work, but you will probably ultimately need, excuse me, guys, you'll probably ultimately need maybe 3 to 5, and maybe even more of these particular diodes in order for it to diminish the amount of electromagnetic frequency on a router. Now, of course, to try to put that on top of let's say your microwave and your stove, you're definitely going to need like bigger pieces. But the one thing that I am starting to see is that using the measurer, it actually will tell you, not on the diode, not on the Geiger counter itself, but if you're paying attention to where you're measuring it at, it's going to comes directly from a specific spot. So if you put your diodes on top of those specific spots where majority of the radiation is coming off at, that is where it's going to absorb the most and block some of the EMF from being pushed out on this immediate environment. So, get you some diodes and get you a Geiger counter, okay? If you guys want to know what's going on in your household as far as, electromagnetic frequencies are concerned, that is a form of radiation, but it's not ionized radiation. Ionized radiation is the radiation that sends information in waves. And those ionized radio frequencies are more conducive to cause cancerous and different neurological problems within the body if exposed to high amounts for a long period of time. The form of EMF radiation that comes off is non-ionized. So that just simply means that the radiation frequency is not as strong, right? But there are still studies that show that it does cause uneasiness and, neurological problems being exposed to EMF at any given time for a long period of time, whether it's ionized or non-ionized. So that is one thing you guys do want to do your research on and figure that part out as well. But nonetheless, there are no studies showing that it doesn't cause these harmful effects, and there are no studies really showing that it does cause these effects. All right, but science knows that these electromagnetic frequencies do give off radiation that is harmful, but there's just not have been enough studies to show whether a person is being affected by these EMF frequencies on either side. So, or at least they haven't brought those studies out. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that they've probably done it. If they've done military testing, they've probably done that before. But they probably haven't done it on a major mass scale, maybe just a small, minute one. But, long story short, get you guys some diodes and get you a Geiger counter, okay? A Geiger counter, or it could be also called the EMF tester. Doesn't matter, they both do the same thing. They have some more expensive ones that, can go further in distance and can actually measure towers. And you can be like, away from it and still get, the readings of the frequency. The type 1 that I have, you will probably have to stand a little bit closer and actually get close to the object in order to measure its frequency. So that's the key thing to know, as well as if you're going to invest in these things. Ecolab has them. Amazon has them. Of course, you got this brand right here, like I said, Meturk, which is a good brand. It's actually one of the quality version brand of the Geiger counter. So yeah, stay safe out there, guys. You know what I'm saying? Invest, learn, and you know what I mean, do the best that you can. You know what I mean? Everybody probably can't afford some of these things or may not believe in some of these things, but it's always best to at least take precaution than to just not do nothing at all. So remember that, guys. It's your boy Shade signing out. Yeah. Peace and blessings.
I represent the winds all across the globe. I represent the peace of all my ancestors' souls. I represent the struggle from where all my people come. I represent the noble ones who did it all for us. I represent the humble who showed ways to survive. I represent the slums where a lot of my people died. I represent creation of the first breathtaking mathematics, architecture, the science, and